blessing already today. Each and every day we receive so much blessing from you, so much abundance. You take care of us. You're providing for us. Heavenly Father, I'm sorry we don't have more fruits to offer to you. We're so grateful to be able to experience the way you're working through the Second King. Thank you so much for the valuable inspiration that we received already today in the international meeting. Rod of Iron Freedom Festival. Bless the King, protect him, guide him in all that he has to do. Please be present here, inspire us as we share our testimonies tonight, that we can be able to be your instruments and comfort your heart and be of use to you. In the future, people can watch this testimony and catch an idea of who our true Father was while he walked this earth, who the second Jesus was, how Jesus manifested through Father and through the Second King. Thank you so much for your help and your presence, your inspiration to us.
Yes, Father.
We pray and report this in my Regis Hanna said yes.
Okay. Well, I joined the Unification Church in Berkeley. My center leader was Edwin Ong. And a short while later, Father asked for people to join him for a crusade, right? And Edwin Ong didn't want to let me go because I was bringing a lot of new members to the church, but I just begged him, please, please let me go. And he decided to let me go. So I have a series here of my personal experiences that I had with True Father, which is the most precious and valuable thing to me. So we went across the country and we arrived in New York, in Riverdale, and True Father was staying with all the members who were working to promote Father's first public speaking tour. It was 1972, and I was going to the door of the house in Riverdale. True Father was at the entrance with his back to me, and he turned around and looked at me directly. I was just 2 feet away from him. Every day we went to the basement of the house where we heard lectures from Young Yi Kim. In the afternoon we would go out to sell tickets for the 3 nights where Father was going to be speaking publicly for the first time. True Father personally picked the leaders of the teams. True Father went down the row and pulled me by my sleeve and assigned me as a leader of a team of 10 members. At the end of the speaking tour in San Francisco, Father announced that he was going to pick members to either be in the bus team, to travel around the country to each center and witness, and members who were going to go to be the leaders of states that right now had no church. True Father chose me as one of those to be a state leader. He pulled me by my shoulder and put me in the line of state leaders. Then he had me pick a paper out of a basket, and which would have the name of the state I was to pioneer. It was Louisiana. After a year of pioneering Louisiana, True Father called all of us state leaders for a conference in Belvedere, which we did which we had all just bought by selling candles, scented candles. He had us stand up and give a report. After my report, Father said, through suffering, he said to me, through suffering you became beautiful. Then, after our meeting in Belvedere, I was asked by Young Yi Kim to create a skit with the state leaders for the family night entertainment. I had one tall brother pretend to be True Father and a tiny sister, Mrs. Che. Father's translator. I had the tall brother speak very loud and strong with his hands, moving a lot, and Mrs. Che translated in her very soft voice. The skit was a big hit. Everyone was laughing, including True Father and the Han Mother. After 2 years in Louisiana, it was announced that True Father was going to have a speaking tour in all 50 states. With the donations of my members and fundraising, we bought a church center, a large home on famous Canal Street. We bought nice furniture for True Father's room, our prayer room, and the public areas. The house had a beautiful living room. When True Father and Hak Jahan sat down, Hak Jahan was bouncing on the sofa. During that time, I sat at the table with True Father and Hak Jahan. Also, I took them to see the city. Along with Dr. Pak, I took them to the French Quarter, the main tourist interest in there. It had a very low spiritual atmosphere because of a long history of prostitution. At one point, Dr. Pak shielded Father from seeing something. I also took them to see the Mississippi River. We started to go across and get close and see it, but there was a no trespassing sign. I wanted to go to the river with them in spite of the sign, but Father stopped me. From that I felt Father's careful to follow all the rules. Satan is always looking for a way to make trouble for him, so he is very careful. Travis Jones was another state leader with me, and I had to find a venue and sell tickets to fill the event. True Father and Hak Jahan, along with Mrs. Choi, Youngwee Kim, and Daiwan, and Mr. and Mrs. Salonen, and Lady Dr. Kim, she was in charge of all the food. In the evenings, Mrs. Che would read letters and reports to Father, and I would sit there and listen. To advertise the event, we paid for a large billboard that had a beautiful picture of True Father, and it said Day of Hope. I was in the car with True Father and Hak Jahan at the airport. When he saw the billboards that we had made, he asked Daiwan to stop and take a photo of it. He was very happy to see such a large billboard with his picture on it. My matching by True Father in Guri-si, Korea. We were all in Guri-si Training Center, men and women on opposite sides. True Father started to match people, asking first for those who were over 40, and then for those who had more than a college education. Regis stood up because he had a master's degree in social work. As soon as Father stood up, I saw that True Father was looking at me, and I turned to my best friend, Maureen Goddessman, and I said, it's gonna be me. And she said, "You're lucky." Okay.
Skip that part.
Which part?
The next sentence.
This one?
Okay, no censorship allowed.
Okay. Instead of eating lunch that day, he had gone to pray and told God that he would accept anyone True Father chose, so that he had no choice but to accept me. It was very, very happy when he accepted. He was very happy when he accepted True Father's recommendation. Our blessing was in the, how do you say this? Chamsil Gymnasium. We had to stand outside in the freezing weather for over 2 hours. My shoes were thin, and so my feet got frozen. Really painful, but I guess it was one more way to pay indemnity for this momentous event. My direct experiences after the blessing in Korea, we went to Japan to promote True Father. A speech Father would be giving in Tokyo. Father sat down with Mr. Salonen to assign Americans to go out to pioneer countries where we had no church. He only personally assigned people for Latin America. When he got to Panama, he asked Mr. Salonen, who of all the members will never, ever leave? Mr. Salonen said, Nancy Hanna. Panama was clearly a very important country for True Father. I didn't ask that question he didn't ask that question for any other country. I think it was because Panama and the Panama Canal Zone, where the United States and Latin America were very close, had a very close relationship. My next experience with True Father was when he came to visit us in our 220-day training in Berrytown. He came and spoke many times. I'm sure he was also praying for all of us who would be going out to all those countries around the world to found the Unification Church. He let us ask questions, and I asked him, how can I experience God? True Father said, go out into the sunlight and open your heart. The next time I could see True Father was in 1980 at True Father's 60th birthday celebration in the New Yorker. He had called all the foreign missionaries to a training workshop in the New Yorker hotel. He had a meeting with just the blessed couples. Regis and I were there together. We were seated in the front row, and True Father remarked about a couple. He can do anything. He can only do one thing at a time, and you can do many things at the same time. Yes, 2 times he said that. When we moved back to Regis' hometown in Westchester County, after leaving Mexico, I saw Father every Sunday at Belvedere. He had early morning sermons. Our older children came with me. At one point he pointed to our daughter Jennifer and said, she is beautiful. Little did I know that I would soon return to the foreign mission through the foreign Messiah providence. During our time in Panama, the province of Chungkyung began. In Chungkyung, I had a number of opportunities to go to the palace and to be with True Father and Hakchahan. I entered the OSP workshop in Reno. Tomiko Duggan and I always got up early in the morning to get a seat near the front row where Father was speaking. At one point he came and stood right in front of me, and to my great surprise he mentioned Panama out of the blue. I knew that it was his way of acknowledging me. My last experience with True Father. I was in Panama, and I did a world tour, and he came to Costa Rica. My family went to Costa Rica to see him and support him. When I first arrived, there was a crowd of us around him. Then something strange happened. Even though I was 15 feet back in the crowd, True Father had a clear view to me, and I saw him, and he saw me. He looked at me and did not stop looking at me for a long time. Maybe somebody had told him about the miracle of Chungkyung, where I became the National Messiah, and in the National Messiah lottery, and I got Panama, my original foreign mission country. And more importantly, me and our whole family were now living in Panama. There were national messiahs for every country in the world, but very few found a way to go there with their family and live in that country. I began to listen to the King's sermons over the internet in Panama in 2015 and 2016. Breaking the Silence was very seminal for me, and I understood what was going on with Hak Jahan. I could accept everything that the King was saying. It was very clear to me that True Father's designated successor was the King, and I never doubted it.